name is Virginia, and I told you a theory that said that God was in the brain. Next up is William, and he's going to tell you something about boxing safety.
Yeah, Will. I just pushed this red button.
The bottom button.
Oh, jeez, he's tall.
That's the point. Got it.
Oh man, this won't go any taller.
Get it at an angle. Get his nose hairs in there. Zoom in.
Okay, there we go. That's better. Your head kept getting cut off, so now you're good. You're good.
Good. Alright, there I sat, reclined, laid back in this chair. I had cold metal digging and slicing up in my nose, warm blood gushing, running all over my face, dripping off my chin like a broke faucet. I'm going to talk to you about boxing safety. For those of you already carrying an interest in boxing or another martial art, hopefully this will further familiarize you with safety equipment and practices. For those of you maybe not as interested, it can still be important information. Maybe you have a niece, a nephew, your own child with an interest in martial arts, or a bully problem, or a discipline problem, or something that will eventually lead them to practice a martial art. You want them to be safe. So that's kind of how it started for me. I was bullied when I was really little. First time my mother took me to the gym, I was just before my 5th birthday, and I just turned 35. So about 30 years hands-on experience. I think I've learned a few things. I'm also a huge fan of the sport as a spectator. And I've also done some research, websites like AIBA.org, which is the International Boxing Association website, ehow.com, and ADA.org, which is the American Dental Association website. So talk about 3 areas of safety: protecting your hands and your wrists, protecting the area of the groin, and protecting your head and your face. First of all, protecting the hands and the wrists. According to an article by Duri Dinser, MD, on AIBA.org, last accessed earlier today, October 27th, hand injuries are the most common fracture in the human skeletal system. And that's in all people. You factor fighters in the equation, obviously those percentages go up. So how can we protect our hands and our wrists? First of all, your foundation, hand wraps. These are 180-inch Everlast hand wraps. This is all I brought because this is really all you need to know. I'd recommend these to anybody. They're easy to find, they're inexpensive, they're high quality, and they're 180 inches, which is longer than basically all hand wraps. What this is going to do, it gives you that extra material to adequately wrap your wrists for support, maybe where other hand wraps won't, and over the surface of your knuckles for protection. So on top of your wraps, you need a good pair of gloves. These are my bag gloves. It is important to know there is a difference between your bag gloves and your sparring competition gloves. While it's safe to hit a bag with your competition, your sparring gloves, they're a little more expensive, they break down a little easier, so it's probably not a good idea to wear out your good glove just beating on a heavy bag. On the other hand, totally unsafe to use your bag gloves to spar. Not safe for your hands, not safe for your partners, don't do it. Aside from your wraps and your gloves, how can you protect your hands? Just good proper punching technique. It's amazing how many people hurt their hands for the simplest, stupidest, most fundamental things. So just a few things I can tell you that are very simple, easy to remember. When you punch, always with a tightly closed fist. Deliver your straight punches. You want to try and connect with the first 2 knuckles. I just try and put my index knuckle through the target. Hooks, uppercuts, looping punches, you want to deliver with your middle knuckles. I just try and put my middle knuckle through the target. Pretty simple. So I just talked to you a little bit about protecting your hands and wrists. Now I'll talk about protecting the area of the groin. I don't think I need to elaborate too greatly. We all know that protecting your reproductive gear is important. But there is one piece of equipment, the no foul protector, which is key in boxing. Aside from looking like a big funny padded diaper, it gives you good padding for your jewels, your hips and hip flexors. I'm sure Braden can agree is a key to your mobility. And there we go. And most extend padding out over the area of the buttocks. And what this does is protects the sciatic nerve. Your sciatic nerve, according to an article by Sandra Kohler on ehow.com, I last accessed earlier today, entitled Sciatic Nerve Pain, is the longest and widest nerve in the body. It goes from your back, down to your butt, down your legs, down to your feet. I can tell you from personal experience, you get punched in the sciatic nerve, all of a sudden you're not quite as mobile as you used to be. Another thing I think I should mention, so people like to try and double up in this area, double up protection, wear a jock, a hard cup underneath their particular. Totally recommend against doing this. Not only is it incredibly uncomfortable, it can actually contribute to injuries, so just don't do it. So I just talked to you a little bit about protecting the area of the groin. I'll talk to you about protecting the head and the face. I guess the first and most obvious piece of equipment would be your headgear. This is mine, obviously. Pretty much your standard competition headgear. What your headgear does is it protects against facial cuts and bruising, protects your eyes and your vision primarily, and to a lesser extent, protect your brain. And most people think it's there to protect the brain. Not so much. It's primarily to protect the face. Your brain's still sloshing around and getting damaged in there. So this is, as I said, this is my headgear. It's pretty much your standard competition headgear with cheek protectors. A few other styles. You got like your old school open face headgear, pretty much the same thing, no cheek protectors. Your face savers, pretty much, instead of your cheek protector, you got padding comes across, covers your nose and mouth, a little more protective. Might get to tease just a little bit in the gym. Then they have like the full facial cage, wire grid umpire / Halloween mask monstrosities that are incredibly protective, but probably going to get you really laughed completely out of a gym. So you got to kind of weigh those options. Aside from your headgear, next piece of equipment, mouth guard. According to an article, last access earlier today, October 27th on ADA.org, the American Dental Association suggests that you wear a mouth guard for any activity that could result in a blow to the face or specifically the mouth. Obviously, boxing falls under this category. So there are pretty much two different kinds of mouth guards used in boxing. You got your custom dental molded fancy jobs, which are like more expensive, supposedly really protective. I've never used one personally, so I can't speak on that. I've always used the boil and bite style mouthpiece. For those of you unfamiliar with the boil and bite, it's pretty much just an unmolded mouthpiece. You boil it in water, you bite into it to mold it to your teeth. What I use is called a brain pad. It comes with a 12-year dental warranty, upper and lower, hard breathing channel, which allows you to breathe through your mouth with your teeth clenched. And a lot of times in boxing, you got blood in your nose, you get a broken nose, for whatever reason you can't breathe through your nose, you're going to need to be able to suck wind through your mouth, so the breathing channel is important. Aside from your headgear and your mouth guard, way to protect your head and face, just good defense, keeping your hands up, moving your head, keeping your chin tucked, stuff you learn through practice and repetition in the gym. So I just talked to you about boxing safety, specifically the areas of protecting your hand and wrist, protecting the area of the groin, and protecting your head and face. So there I was laid back in this chair, cold metal digging up in my face, there's blood all over the place, it was a total mess, right? I looked like a wreck, but I was happy, I was elated because I knew when the procedure was finished, I would once again be able to breathe through my nose. And a special thank you to Dr. Daryl Kammer, ENT in NAMBA, for allowing me to breathe again. Breathing stuff, totally underrated. My nose is still pretty messed up, and it serves as a constant reminder of the importance of boxing safety. And if I could just leave you with one thing to remember today, one cheesy line, consider your health, protect yourself. Thank you. All right.